What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel. Now today, we are going to be looking at what I believe to be a very highly underrated Pokemon, and that is Obstagoon. Now, Obstagoon is the new evolution of Galarian Linoone, and it actually is a lot better than what I think people realize. So we're going to take a look at its stats first of all. Base 93 HP, that's pretty good. Base 90 attack, that's okay. It's not terrible. Base 101 defense, that's good. Base 60 special attack, we're not going to use that. Base 81 special defense, that's not bad. And base 95 speed, that's not bad either. Good stats. Its typing is dark normal, which typically would not really be a good typing. Defensively, you are 4 times weak to fighting. You are also weak to bug and I believe fairy. So I mean, he's got a few weaknesses, but overall, he's really not that bad. So let's look at his coverage. Let's see, body slam, brick break. He gets bulk up to boost his attack. Close combat, double edge, which will go with one of his abilities later. Facade, which also goes with one of his abilities. He gets the elemental punches. He gets gunk shot for fairies if you need that. Let's see. He gets knockoff. He gets low kick, night slash. He gets his signature move, which we'll talk about later. Parting shot, which is an absolutely amazing move for him to get. He gets seed bomb, so he could counter Gastrodon or Seismitoad. You have Shadow Claw if you need ghost type coverage. You have Stomping Tantrum if you need ground type coverage. You've got electric here, you've got bug here. I mean, this thing has insane amounts of coverage. He has switcheroo, so he can get rid of his item if you want him to hold a bad item. He has taunt. This thing has incredible coverage. He has body press, which with his high defense wouldn't be a bad thing. He has all kinds of stuff. This mon is ridiculous. So I really think that this mon is good. I just think that we haven't figured out its full potential yet. But I am going to give you a couple of calcs, at least within a few things on the OU tier. And I think you'll see just how strong this thing is. So this first set is kind of the standard that most people are running. This is the Flame Orb Guts set. Now let's talk about his abilities for a second. All 3 of his abilities are fantastic. You have Reckless. This Pokemon's attacks with recoil or crash damage do 1.2 times power. So that applies to Double Edge. That is the only move that he gets that is affected by that. But still, a Double Edge that it has 1.2 base power plus his stab boost plus whatever other boosting thing we're doing. It hits insanely hard. Guts. I don't think I really need to talk about Guts all that much. Guts just basically, if you are statused, your attack is 1.5 times, and you don't get the drop from your attack on being burned, which is really good. That's basically just a free choice band at the cost of being burned, but you can choose your move. You can choose whatever move you want. Also incredible. Last one, Defiant. Also an amazing ability. It's a little bit nerfed now in this metagame since Intimidate isn't nearly as prevalent. However, Sticky Web is. And so with Sticky Web running around all the time, I really think that Defiant will definitely have a place on this move set. So yeah, all 3 really good abilities, really good stats, amazing move pool. Why is this thing not being used? I don't know. But so this is going to be your standard set right here with Facade, Close Combat, Knockoff, and Obstruct. Now you could switch Obstruct out with another move such as Gunk Shot for fairies. You could also run something like Parting Shot. Parting Shot is always a good move. What Parting Shot does is it lowers the opponent's attack and special attack by 1 stage, and then you switch out, kind of like U-turn. But so it's really good for gaining momentum. And this thing, you'll see how hard it hits. It's going to scare things out. And so you can really put that to good use by coming in on something that would be threatened whatever they bring in as the answer to it, some kind of powerful hitting mon, you then put that at -1/-1, and you switch out into its appropriate counter. It really, really can turn the tide of a battle very quickly. So I would also consider that over Obstruct. But what Obstruct does is it works similar to King Shield, but it functions more like Protect. And what I mean by that is King Shield blocks attacks, but it doesn't block status moves. As far as I'm aware, Obstruct works more like Protect, where it blocks everything. So, which is really good. And then it works like King Shield in if the opponent makes contact with you, then it lowers a stat. However, instead of attack, he lowers defense by 2 stages. Now, if you didn't know, King Shield got nerfed this generation to only lower by 1 stage. However, this lowers defense by 2. And with how this mon hits, anything that is down by 2 stages is basically going to get O-code as long as you can hit it neutrally, which is incredible. And with all of this coverage, he's going to be able to hit almost everything in the metagame for neutral. So if it touches you when you use Obstruct, it's going to drop that next turn. Now, one thing I also wanted to talk about is his base 95 speed is actually really, really cool. And the reason is because he speed ties with Galarian Darmanitan, a very, very popular Pokemon right now. I recommend running Obstagoon with Sticky Web support. And so if you have Sticky Web on the other side and you run into a Jolly Scarf Darmanitan, which is the most common set right now, you will always outspeed it by 1 point if it gets hit with Sticky Web. It's just the way that the rounding works. It is not a speed tie if he is brought down by -1. You will always outspeed him by 1 point. So that's pretty crazy. So that's why we run Jolly. Jolly is basically necessary on this set for that reason. Adamant really is not an option. So the next set we're going to look at is the Bandit set. Same EVs, obviously. But this one we're going to be running Reckless. So Reckless is going to multiply the damage of Double Edge. And so we switched out Obstruct for Parting Shot. So Parting Shot's going to be able to get you out of a situation where it seems like you came in on something and they get scared. You can then switch out, and whatever they brought in is now weaker. And so that would allow you to set up with a setup mon. Bring in something like Gyarados, go for the Dragon Dance, go for the Sweep, something like that. Go for a Rapid Spin on Excadrill, anything like that. So this mon really has awesome utility, and it's really incredible. One thing I wanted to mention about this is if you go for Dynamax with this set, obviously you're not going to Dynamax with this set. Well, you could, but you'd probably Dynamax with this set or this set more often. But if you Dynamax with this set, you think about it, you have a fighting type move, which will then boost your attack. Dark type moves boosts their special defense, or lowers their special defense. Don't care about that. But Double Edge lowers their speed when used as a max move. So if you get this off and you're slightly slower than something, then the next turn you can then hit them with a close combat to boost your attack, or you can boost your attack, slow them down, whatever. So speed control and boosting at the same time with Dynamaxing. Very, very strong. So the Scarf set is going to be very, very similar, except we switch this out for Facade. And I just like Defiant on this set better. Obviously, you could run Reckless and Double Edge as well on this set, but this thing gets so many good moves. It's actually just insane because it'll fill about any role that you need on your team. I just feel that this set hits the hardest. I did want to mention something about this mon. So if you are this Guts set back here, we'll mention this for a second. First of all, Galarian Darmanitan cannot kill you with as long as he is Jolly Scarf. He actually can only do 40% with Icicle Crash. That is all the damage he can do, and you can OHKO him with either Close Combat or Facade, which is absolutely incredible. So you also have the Life Orb set, which is very similar. We bring Obstruct back on this set, and we just run the standard 3 moves. It just works. I mean, and obviously with any of these, you can switch these moves out for whatever the appropriate coverages you need. Do you need fire type coverage on your team? Great, you got Fire Punch. Do you need ice type coverage on your team? Great, you've got Ice Punch. Do you need grass types? Do you struggle with Gastrodon? Great, this thing will just kill that. Do you need electricity? Do you need bug? Whatever you need, this thing's got it. Also with these, you could also switch out Parting Shot for Switcheroo. Typically, you would want to run Switcheroo over Trick, and that's only because of the rare occasion that you run into something with Imprison, and Imprison is typically with Psychic types, which would have Trick on it. So most often you would want to run Switcheroo, and Switcheroo is actually easier to obtain because it's a move you learn by going to the move relearner rather than actually teaching it with a TR. So yeah, so that's the Life Orb set. It's pretty standard. We're running Defiant on this set. Just it is basically a great anti-Trick Room, or not Trick Room, Sticky Web. So if something sets up Sticky Web against you, you can switch this in. Your attack is now doubled, and you can just kind of go to town on that. This next set is a little different. It's a bulk up body press facade knockoff set. So what we've got here is an interesting set with fully specially defensive, and we are going to be boosting our defense and attack with bulk up. So this mon actually can take hits really well. With a great HP stat of 93 and an awesome defense stat at 101. If you start boosting that, it's going to be really, really hard to break through this thing. So, yeah, this thing's actually a problem even if it's bulky. Now, you could switch out something like Body Press for Taunt. Taunt would always be good so that things can't set up on you while you're trying to set up. You could also run something different and trick that. Again, this thing just has insane options. You could also run sub bulk up, which would be another viable option. You could take away body press and run sub bulk up, whatever you want. It's actually insane the amount of options. And so I did want to mention that I'm only listing like a few of the sets here, just like the better ones, and then of course the meme. But this thing can run so many different things depending on what you need on your team. So I really encourage you to go out there and use this thing like crazy, because it is absolutely insane. Also, it has like one of the best shinies in the game ever. So if you can get a hold of a shiny Obstagoon, you better use that in like every battle, because it's awesome. All right, so for our meme set, this one's okay, I guess. But so basically what this is he gets access to Whirlpool, right? And so the idea is here, your opponent brings in a physical attacker on this to try to kill it. So you trap it in with Whirlpool, you obstruct it as it is trying to hit you, and so you'll notice we are max physical defense. So we are here just to take on physical Pokemon. This will not work on a special attacker. But you trap it in, and you start doing a little bit of turnly damage. You can obstruct it with it hitting you with physical moves, and it can't escape now. And in case something wants to burn you, great, you can run Guts. You could also run Defiant if you think something would lowering your stats is a little worse. This would help with things such as Galarian Corsola, trying to lower your stats. And that's one thing that this would do really well with is Galarian Corsola. You could take off Brick Break here and run Knockoff instead, and this would be a great counter to that. But I typically would run Guts here because it would try to burn you first of all. And so Galarian Corsola comes in, you trap it with Whirlpool because it thinks it can hurt you. It's going to burn you. That's fine. It just activated your Guts. You can then just Oko it with Knockoff. It's insane. So I wanted to give you a couple calcs here. So I already gave you the calc on Galarian Darmanitan. So you live in Icicle Crash, even if you are completely, let's see here. If you are completely uninvested, the most damage that you take is from a U-turn, and that's 60%. And you always do back 139 damage, 139% damage with close combat, at least 121 with facade. That is insane, and that's on this Guts set here. So let's also look at Dragapult here. So Dragapult is also something insane. Now at -1 speed, Dragapult is slower than you by actually a decent margin. And Knockoff will always OHKO. Knockoff does 150% minimum. So those are two really, really big threats. Let's look at Galarian Corsola really quick and just see how much this does. Let's see. Galarian Corsola, let's give you the best chance of surviving. Max defense, max HP, Eviolite. And let's see just how much we can do here. Eviolite. Yeah, with Knockoff, we do 61% damage. And that's with its Eviolite. So you knock off its... So let's say... let's see how much we do at -1 because he strength sapped us. But we knocked off his... Eviolite. We still do almost half, which is absolutely insane chip to be doing on something like this. So, yeah, this mon is great. It really is. And so, I want you to go out there. I want you to use this thing and make it OU. Make this thing OU because it is absolutely awesome. And I love its design. I love everything about it. It's a great mon. Go get you one. So, anyway, so as I'm recording this, I just finished getting my team in game. So we will have a Wi-Fi battle very, very soon. It is a very standard looking team, at least for now. But as we go on and I make some more mods, we will start doing some more theme teams and some more feature teams and that sort of thing. So I will see you guys in the next video for another guide. And until then, you guys have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.